Man. So I actually filmed this already, but my mic apparently decided to give out in the first like few minutes. So if the sound isn't great, I'm very sorry about that. My mic is not working right now apparently. So I'm gonna do this again. Welcome to Review Rage, and today I'm doing Deep Blue Sea, which is one of my favorite movies. And if you want to see me really get into that, I have another video on my other channel, Mythologist, where I just went off on it because I love it so much. I like in a good way, and made a drink and everything. So I will put a link for that in the description. The reason I love that movie is because I don't know, I think I have a special affinity towards movies that came out in 1999, you know, The Mummy, Deep Blue Sea, etc. But also I did watch it about 30 times on a flight to Australia. I don't sleep on planes, and it was on there, and I'd seen it in the theater, but I was just so excited that it was on the flight that I just watched it over and over and over. And so I know, to be fair, sometimes I get mad at people and it's not their fault because they haven't seen it as many times as I have. But some of these reviews are just so you'll see what I mean. They're just really stupid. And so it's for these people's own good that I'm getting mad at them, pretty much. Also, if you haven't seen the movie, which I don't know how anyone hasn't seen it because it's amazing, but it's about this group of scientists and other people led by Dr. Susan McAllister. And basically she, her father had Alzheimer's, and it was really upsetting to her, so she wants to cure Alzheimer's. And they found out that sharks have this protein complex that, when applied to brain tissue, can make the brain tissue grow really, really fast. So they violated the Harvard complex, and they genetically engineered some mako sharks to make their brains bigger so that they would produce more of the protein complex. But the problem is that made the sharks smarter, and one of the sharks escapes at the beginning of the movie and attacks a boat, and because of this they have to go explain to their investors what's happening and, you know, show them their progress and everything. And that's why Samuel L. Jackson comes to Aquatica, the research facility, because he's checking to see what their progress is in terms of their research and everything. I don't know why this mic broke. Anyway, so that, and things go wrong, and that's the movie for you.
Tell me, Mr. Franklin, have you ever known anyone with Alzheimer's?
No.
What if you could end all that suffering with a single pill?
Give me till Monday morning, 48 hours. I'll give you results that'll skyrocket your stock price.
In the most advanced research facility in the world.
Wow.
Beneath its glassy surface, a world of gliding monsters.
And I love it. I think it's funny, I think it's action-packed, I think it's entertaining, it's scary, it's everything in one movie. It's perfect. Okay. But with that said, let's get into reviews. And I will include clips of the movie in between reviews if I can find things that sort of explain what I'm talking about. But we'll see. I have the preview for the movie, but I don't want to like get a copyright strike or anything. But I'll put as much as I can in. So, okay, review 1. I knew this film was a parody at best, but I still found it hilariously bad. Deep Blue Sea is terrible in every way. The writing is predictable, the acting is mediocre, and the visual effects are laughable. Don't bother giving it a shot. This review is from, like, this month, so, like, 5 days ago? I don't know how this person managed to go 24 years without seeing this movie, but they did. Maybe they're, you know, a youngin'. But, of course it's gonna look bad after 24 years. Nothing looks that great unless it's Jurassic Park. It's not a parody. I don't know what you're talking about. It was never meant to be a parody. It's supposed to be a good movie about sharks. Yeah. the writing is predictable. I don't know what she's talking about. The visual effects, like I said, are gonna be a little laughable after 24 years, but personally, I love it because they have shark vision. I've never seen a movie with shark vision besides Deep Blue Sea, so that was awesome. But it's not a parody. It's not. Moving on. Ew, not funny or original. However, Samuel Leroy Jackson loses his character to the bad shark. It's not supposed to be funny. And I actually thought it was original. How many movies have you seen about sharks curing Alzheimer's? Is that like a thing I didn't know about? And yeah, Samuel Jackson lost his character to the bad shark. To be clear, they're all bad sharks. All three of them are bad sharks. They established this. They're all bad. So, yeah. Okay. And actually, he lost his life to, like, all three sharks because they pulled him apart in the water. You know, it's pretty awesome. Okay. I don't know why this is a cult movie besides Jackson and LL Cool J. It's just so boring, and there are only 2 good scenes of shark action in 2 hours. This movie isn't 2 hours long. I wish it were longer, but it's not that long. And it's not boring, and I don't know what they're talking about, only 2 good scenes of shark action. I mean, they didn't specify, so I don't, but what?
Go! Go!
Okay. An incomprehensibly stupid movie that in some moments tries to be taken seriously but falls flat because of the incredibly dated effects and unlikable characters. This person put their review in all caps. They used English like so incorrectly. I don't even know. They put apostrophe S after things that shouldn't have. Anyway, your review is incomprehensibly stupid. So yeah. Okay, sharks are not alive, but some are plastic. Well, okay. Do you expect the sharks to be alive? Because they weren't alive in Jaws either. Just making sure people know that. There was some footage of real sharks, but they weren't alive. Because what are you going to do? Train a shark to kill people? And no, they're obviously going to be CGI. And they're not plastic, they're animatronic. So I don't know what this person's what they're smoking. Should be called deep brown shit. That doesn't even make sense. But also you're not that funny. But I also don't know what deep brown shit would be. So and you're wrong. You're just wrong. So okay. Fails at every level. The science was so bad, I was expecting the scientist to admit to being a fraud. Then he died. I don't understand why people feel the need to comment on the science. I'm not a scientist, obviously. But I thought that the science sort of made sense when I heard it. Again, not a scientist, but I doubt this person is either. And I don't understand. He was expecting the scientist to admit to being a fraud, then he died. So, yeah. But, yeah, he died. I mean, I don't... Okay, anyway. SMDH. Maybe shaking my damn head. I actually don't know what that stands for. When you see the bullshit, LL Cool J survives, despite the fact that same bullshit kills the mutated shark, you'll understand why I gave it a 0. But I also give it a 1 just for the scene where Samuel L. Jackson dies. Now that's comedy. Aside from that, it's just a horrible ripoff of Jaws 4. Not the first one or its first 2 sequels, but Jaws 4. Okay, LL Cool J was bitten by the shark. Sorry, there's a weird beeping. He was bitten by the shark. I think maybe they're thinking of Thomas Jane, who did in fact survive the end with the explosion, but that's because he got off the shark in time to survive the explosion. Also, it's not a ripoff of Jaws 4. Have you seen Jaws 4? Jaws 4, they go to the Bahamas and the white shark follows them to seek revenge on Jaws, I guess. I don't know. How is that anything like Deep Blue Sea? It's not at all. It has no resemblance to Deep Blue Sea. So, yeah, I don't even know. Essentially, this film is like Jurassic Park at sea. It's nothing like Jurassic Park. I think what's happening here, because I've seen this a few times in several reviews, I think people hear genetic engineering and think Jurassic Park. However, in Jurassic Park, they were bringing back extinct animals. In this movie, the animals already exist. They do exist. They just genetically engineered their brains to make them bigger. How is that similar to Jurassic Park? I don't know. But, yeah, there you go. 90s action horror tale has bloody shark attacks, cursing. That pretty much sums it up, honestly. That's from Common Sense Media, and I'm not particularly mad about that one. I just think it's kind of funny. It has bloody shark attacks and it has cursing. So, yeah. Not a smidgen of originality. Well, unless there's, like I said, a lot of other movies out there that involve genetic engineering of sharks to cure Alzheimer's, I don't know why this movie wouldn't be original. I have in fact purchased Deep Blue Sea, period. Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie, and so is LL Cool J. There is a cute bird in the movie. My hat is like a shark's fin. Okay, you know what? I'm not mad about this review. I think it's kind of funny, actually. He basically got all the points right, and my hat is like a shark's fin, so you could. Not meant for mature audiences. Willing suspension of disbelief? Unwilling suspension of disbelief? Absolutely nonsensical version of physics, biology, anatomy, medical science, and any common sense? Yes. If you have a small switch behind your ear to cancel any sense of reality, flip it now. Diabolically cunning, reasoning, bloodthirsty super sharks? Yes. A shark whisperer? Yes. A full crew of humans in constant conflict with each other? Yes. An antiquated Navy floating station purposefully designed as an inescapable death trap? Yes. Honestly, by the end of this ridiculous film, I was thinking being eaten by a shark might be preferable. I also wish that person were eaten by a shark, but whatever. I mean, yeah, it's a movie. I don't understand what people are expecting. It's not a documentary, it's a movie. He's not a shark whisperer, Carter. He's a shark wrangler. There's a difference. I just don't even know what. It's a movie. It's a fucking movie. Okay, Deep Blue Sea. Not that much action. Not that much action. Well, let's think about that for a second. There's a lot of action in this movie. Within the first 20 minutes, the whole radio tower explodes. A helicopter gets pulled under by the sharks. Gets thrown into the dude gets thrown into the glass thing. It shatters. It breaks. There's a lot of action in this movie, so I don't know what they wanted, what other more action they wanted, but yeah. There are 3 sharks in total. Pretty plain looking in color, they're not great whites or anything, but they have big teeth, are large, fast, and mean as hell. Plenty of CGI is used when they're there, and overall it's not too unrealistic. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad about this one really, except that, of course, they're not great whites. They tell you within the first 2 minutes that they're makos. So if you pay attention at all, if you're listening, you know they're not great whites and they're not supposed to be great whites. These sharks are ridiculously fast, smart, and all produced with animatronics or CGI. There are only 3 sharks, a mated pair and their offspring, but they certainly eat a lot of people. For the time, the CGI was amazing, but it hasn't aged well. This isn't the only thing threatening the characters, blah, 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 blah. It's not a mated pair. I don't even know where this person got that. It's not their offspring. It's a Gen 1 and 2 Gen 2s. That's all they tell us. We don't know. They're not even related. It just means that Gen 1 was their first, generation of experiments, and Gen 2 is their next generation of experiments. That's all that means. I don't know what they're talking about. Good special effects and sound effects, but absurd plot. Another movie that exploits sharks is Evil Killing Machines. Many absurdities, such as sharks being fooled by red wine in the water, thinking it's blood. That didn't happen. Maybe you thought it was blood. In which case, good job. But the sharks don't think it's blood. The shark doesn't think it's blood. It was a joke because it looks like blood when it's in the water. It's a joke. It's not supposed to be fooling the shark into thinking it's blood. So if that's what you got from that, no. I can't with these people sometimes. Okay, last review. There are some good action scenes, and picture quality was good. It's an obvious takeoff on Jaws. My time would have been better spent watching Jaws again, for about the 20th time. If you've seen Jaws that many times, you know this is nothing like Jaws. At all. This movie is nothing like Jaws. They have nothing in common. They both have sharks. That's it. There's nothing else similar to Jaws, and I don't understand why people automatically see sharks and think Jaws. They're completely different movies. Completely different movies. And at the end of the day, that's fine, because they are different movies. They're supposed to be different. But comparing everything with the shark to Jaws is just faulty and doesn't make any sense. So I think that's what pisses me off the most, is when I see comparisons to Jurassic Park and Jaws. This movie's good, but it's not like either of those, and it's not supposed to be. So if people could stop comparing all shark movies to Jaws, that would be awesome. Thanks. I would appreciate that. Anyway, that was my review, rage review, whatever you want to call it. If you like this, want to see more, let me know. I was really excited to do this one because this is one of my favorite movies, one I get very passionate about. And if you want to see me really go off and explain why it's such a good movie and everything, go watch the other video. But yeah, I mean, this movie is so important to me that I was watching Indiana Jones with my mom the other day, and we saw a preview from Megalodon, and she goes, "Oh, that movie looks really bad." I'm like, "Yeah, I think they're embracing that." And she's like, "Oh, like Deep Blue Sea, it's bad like Deep Blue Sea." And I almost went off on her and was like, "Deep Blue Sea isn't bad, what are you talking about?" But I had to not do that because we're in a movie theater. But I did whisper to her, "No, Deep Blue Sea isn't bad, what are you talking about? Deep Blue Sea wasn't bad. It was actually supposed to be good." That's why I think it's created such a sort of cult following, because it actually was trying to be good. It's not intentionally bad. I will say it's funny and laughable, and I love it because of that. It's silly, but it's fun. It's just fun. And if you're looking for anything else, don't watch. It's not a documentary. I saw one guy, I didn't even include his review, but he went off on this like dissertation about why this Deep Blue Sea isn't realistic, and how they got all these shark facts wrong, and how the makos don't even look like makos, the tiger shark doesn't look like it, blah, blah, blah. And again, I was like, it's not a documentary, it's a movie. It's a movie. So I think it would also be helpful if people could see it that way and just be like, have fun with it and not take it so seriously. But I think that about a lot of movies, I think people take them either too seriously or, you know, they're not paying attention at all, so they miss a lot. Anyway, that's it for me today, but I hope you guys have a good Monday, and let me know what you think of Deep Blue Sea, and if you want to see more of these, because they are fun for me. So, okay, bye.